We have another top 10 nationally televised matchup on Saturday with major Big Sky championship implications. Welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football. Hello and welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson. For the first time since 2018, UC Davis will be playing on the road at Montana. The only current Aggie to have ever played at Washington Grizzlies Stadium is David Meyer in 2022 when he was with Cal Poly. Will the Aggies be able to overcome that hostile environment and extend their win streak to 9? Or will the Grizz hand them their first conference loss of the season? A lot to discuss in this top 10 matchup. And with that, I'd like to bring in Montana wide receiver Keelan White. Standing 7th in the FCS national polls. How would you describe this season so far?
It's going pretty good. We had some early struggles, some early trials and tribulations that we had to work ourselves through, but I think it really helped us, define ourselves as a team and define our identity. And yeah, it's our season going really well.
Keelan, what do you think your team has learned from those early struggles that you guys all experienced?
We've learned a lot. I think we've learned a lot of perseverance. We've got a lot of fight in our team. Just that the game's never over till it's over, and just to fight all the way to the end, and not worry about the scoreboard, just play football.
Your offense has been using two quarterbacks, Fife and Ayat, this season. How would you describe your connection with both of your QBs?
I think I have a pretty good connection with both of them. I trust both of them fully, and I feel like they trust me with the ball. And they both have been playing really well, throwing good balls, making good decisions, taking care of the football. So yeah, they've done a good job.
Your offense is averaging about 224 rushing yards and 232 passing yards a game. Very balanced attack. How does having a balanced attack like that make game planning difficult for opposing defenses?
We got good running backs in the backfield, a really good offensive line up front. So it all starts up there with the run game, and then Nick and Eli breaking those big runs. It opens some stuff up in the pass game. So it's pretty hard I'd say it's pretty hard game plan for, because you got to kind of defend both. So yeah, it's pretty good.
You also have a very strong return game with Junior Bergen. What was it like watching him return that punt for his 6th return of his career last week?
Oh, it was awesome. We were all standing at the sideline like, oh, there's a record. There it is. And he's electric with the ball in his hands. Every time he's on the field, you want to watch him. So yeah, we're definitely all eyes on the field when he's out there for the return.
This week, you guys host UC Davis for a top 10 nationally televised matchup. They do lead the Big Sky in interceptions. What challenge does their defense present an offense like yours?
Yeah, they have a pretty strong defense. They do a lot of different stuff, some different looks that we're going to get. So it's all about really preparing this week, getting in the film room, studying, and just getting prepared for the game.
They also have Lan Larison. Now, I know you're an offensive player. He's also an offensive player. But how can you as an offensive player help prepare your defense for a guy like Larison who can run, who can catch, who also makes plays on special teams?
Yeah, whenever we go against our defense, just got to do the best we can to help those guys prepare, because Lan likes to jump over everybody. So I don't know if we can really emulate that. But just pretty much go against our defense, do the best we can, and help them prepare. And they do the same for us every week. So it's just that.
This game will be nationally televised on ESPN2. What does exposure on the national level do for the Big Sky Conference as a whole?
I think it's good. I think it's good to show, like, it'll be. I think it'll be the Olding game on that night, and it's just good to show that to expose Big Sky football and just show that we can play football. We got ballers and stuff. So yeah, it's good.
After the break, UC Davis quarterback Miles Hastings joins the show.
Yeah, definitely. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
All right. Thanks. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson, joined now by quarterback Miles Hastings for UC Davis. Miles, you started your career with Tim Plow as one of the assistant coaches. He's back this season as a head coach. What's it like having him back for your final year with the Aggies?
Yeah, it's been really special. I know a lot of us seniors have been always wanting to play for him, and now that he's the head coach, it's been really cool. And just him and his competitive nature and getting the team ready to play every week. It's been fun.
9 games into this season, you've already surpassed your touchdown total from last year. You have 17 touchdowns, only 1 interception in those 5 Big Sky games that you've played. What is clicking for you this season offensively?
As a whole offense, just everyone being on the same page. Everyone needs to know exactly what the intention of the play is. Starts with the O line, which have been playing great, and then all the way to the receivers. Knowing the exact yardage or steps on their routes to be exactly on the same page.
One of those guys, of course, that has been on the receiving end of a lot of your touchdowns is Lan Larison. What does his versatility bring to your offense?
He's a really talented player, obviously. Just in the run game and the pass game, and moving him around. He's really smart and knows so much of the offense. And then on top of that, just his leadership this year, on the sideline during games or during the week, getting us ready, and just the confidence that he brings really, really makes us all play better.
Your defense leads the Big Sky in turnovers. They have 3 defensive touchdowns this season as well. How does their creating turnovers impact your game planning on offense?
They've been awesome. I know they're trying to reach that touchdown goal this season. Them taking away the ball, it helps us tremendously, with field position and creating momentum. So all those guys have been really elite at it, and starts with our defensive coordinator, Coach Coombs.
6th season with UC Davis, first time playing in Washington Grizzlies Stadium. What have you heard about the environment up in Missoula?
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun one. These the fans are great. They really show out. The team is always really good. Obviously, being in the national championship last year, so it's a really talented team, and it's gonna take everyone to get the job done.
What excites you the most about this top 10 matchup on Saturday?
The opportunity to even be on ESPN and really show all the viewers, what the Big Sky football is about, which is really talented football, and it's going to be a great game.
You have a tough stretch ahead playing Montana and Montana State in back-to-back weeks. What message would wins in those 2 games send to the rest of the FCS?
Yeah, those are both really talented teams, so being able to win those games would be big. Right now, we aren't looking into the future. It's really all about Montana and how we're going to get this one done, and then we'll worry about the next ones.
Ahead, Brody Grebe is a finalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy. We'll hear from him next on what it means to be a nominee for the Academic Heisman. Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson, joined by Campbell Trophy finalist Brody Grebe. Brody, you are the second Montana State player in 4 seasons to be a finalist for this Academic Heisman. What does this honor mean to you?
It's a huge honor to look at the guys that are finalists as well. Elite players, elite in the classroom, elite overall as human beings. And to be in that group of people, it's a huge honor.
You graduated in May with a 3.93 GPA in mechanical engineering. What's your secret to balancing the coursework with your responsibilities of being an athlete as well?
Lots of hard work. One of the biggest things is sacrifices. Sometimes you got to sacrifice maybe your social life, not going out on the weekends or not hanging out with your friends as much, and doing homework when you don't feel like doing it, or studying when you don't feel like it. And it all adds up in the end.
Hopefully your football career goes on a long, long time after your days at Montana State. But whenever that comes to an end, what do you hope to do with your degree?
I hope to go back to school possibly. Either that's one of my goals. There's a program at MSU that's a 1-year MBA type deal that has a lot of entrepreneurship type things in it. And also I want to go back to the family ranch. I started a thing in my capstone program this last semester where it's algae for biofuel. It's something that I could grow and I could use to create biofuel, and then the algae that I use, I can feed back to my cattle. So that's something that I've always looked into. It's something I want to be a business owner. I'm just looking forward to the future, and hopefully I can do something with that.
What are the benefits of feeding your cattle this algae that you could produce?
Yeah, so what you do is you take out the lipids out of the algae, so that you're left with a lot of protein, and you can feed it to cattle as a good protein source. It's something that you can give extra to them, that you supplement with them, and it can lead to better health for your cattle.
What made you want to get into mechanical engineering?
I just had a love for innovation as a kid growing up, working with my dad, stuff like that, going around trying to figure out ways to make things better on the ranch. And I always had a love for trying to figure out things and make sense of things. And I think mechanical engineering just kind of fit into what I was looking for.
Bringing it back to football, the Bobcats are 9-0 for the second time in school history. How do you guys keep this going this final stretch of the regular season?
You've heard a lot from our guys, just going 1-0 every single day. That's all it's about. That's what we're focused on, trying to get better each practice, looking forward to the next day. How am I going to wake up and make this day better and get better that day? And that leads to victories and going 1-0 on Saturdays. So we're looking forward to keep doing that and take it as far as we can.
9-0, number 2 in the FCS, a Campbell Trophy finalist. What has this season meant to you so far?
A lot of memories and a lot of hard work and things that I've done over these last couple of years, things that the guys in my class have done. It's a lot of hard work put together and a lot of grinding and a lot of sacrifices made, all put together to try to make the best out of our senior year. And I think collectively as a group of seniors, we're trying to make the most out of everything we can do every single day and take it as far as we can.
What goes into making the bracket for the FCS playoffs? Sacramento State Athletic Director and Division I Football Championship Committee member Mark Orr joins the show next to explain.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson, joined now by the athletic director for Sacramento State University, Mark Orr. Although, Mark, you are not here as an AD today. You are here as a representative from the FCS Playoff Committee. You had the first poll released last week, the top 10, I should say. What are some of the criteria that were used to discuss who should be in the in-season top 10?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think first, the Big Sky Conference is one of the strongest football conferences in the FCS. So certainly the quality of competition is a criteria, and the strength of schedule is something that we look at very, very closely in analyzing all the different metrics that are out there to determine the top 10 as we revealed last week. Very, very close, very competitive. A lot of terrific teams across the country and certainly within the Big Sky Conference.
What is the protocol for the committee when members are discussing their partner schools within their own conference?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think there's a difference between if you're discussing your own school. Unfortunately for Sac State this year, we're not having as good a season. But if we were, I would be recused from that conversation discussing my own school. Within our conference, I think I'm helpful. I've seen the Big Sky teams play. I've seen them in person, and I think that adds to the discussion for the committee to have an athletic director from a conference that has seen the teams play and more familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of those programs. The Big Sky having 4 teams in the initial top 10 and a strong conference top to bottom I think my voice and my input is very well respected within the committee room.
One of the changes this year to the playoffs is that the top 16 teams will be seeded. Why is this important to the overall playoff picture?
I think it's really important. This is my first year to the committee, so I wasn't part of the initial discussion to seed the top 16. But I think it adds integrity to the 2014 bracket. It lessens the regionality of the field, so you get a truer seeding and ranking. I think the most deserving teams get an advantage, obviously being a seeded team versus being an unseeded team. So being able to seed the top 16, I think rewards the student athletes and the teams that deserve it.
How many more times will the committee meet before the official selection Sunday?
We're going to be meeting several times. We meet multiple times during the week. Obviously we'll have the in-person meetings on the Friday and Saturday prior to the selections being announced. There are several Zoom calls and virtual calls throughout the weeks leading up to it. And it's an exciting time. I'm certainly privileged to be a part of it. It's a lot of work ahead, but it's a very important work. And we understand the commitment it takes from us for all those student athletes out there and coaches out there that are working hard and giving everything they got to be in what I think is one of the best NCAA postseason events in all of college sports.
Still to come, voice of the Aggies Scott Marsh joins the show with his game picks. Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson. Last weekend, we crowned the winners of the Big Sky Cross Country Championships, and this weekend, we'll do the same for soccer. Let's see what else is happening around the Big Sky. It was a winning weekend for the NAU cross country teams at the Big Sky Championships. David Malarkey and Allie Andrea Upshaw won the individual titles for the Lumberjacks. Plus, the men secured their fourth consecutive team title, while the women took the top 5 spots, resulting in a perfect finish for their 6th straight team title. Over to volleyball, Northern Colorado enters Week 11 on an 8-match win streak, sweeping 7 of those 8 opponents. The Bears went undefeated in October, dropping only 2 sets the entire month. Idaho State continues to heat up as we approach the postseason. The Bengals beat both Montana and Montana State to extend their win streak to 5. Jamie Strite had 15 kills in their victory over the Grizz and is approaching 1,000 for her career. Basketball returned this week, and Sophie Glancy is proving why she was voted Big Sky preseason MVP. She hit the game winner as time expired to beat New Mexico 80-78. Finally, the Big Sky Soccer Championship presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana is underway at Montana's South Campus Stadium. The Grizzlies entered the tournament as the #1 seed after winning the regular season title. The championship match is set for a 1 p.m. Mountain Time start on Sunday and will be streamed on ESPN+. That's what happened this week around the Big Sky. With me now is Scott Marsh, voice of the UC Davis Aggies. Scott, you've been calling UC Davis games for quite some time, over 30 years off and on. When you look back at all the UC Davis teams you've covered compared to this one, what makes this 2024 squad stand out?
This team is very reminiscent of the team that was played in 2018. That was a team that won a co-championship in the Big Sky with Eastern Washington. It made the playoffs, went to the quarterfinals. Miles Hastings having an All-American season. And, of course, Land Larison might very well end up being the Walter Payton Award winner this year, Megan.
Looking at the top 10, of course, we have this top 10 matchup this weekend. UC Davis heading to Missoula to face the Montana Grizz. What or who do you think will be the X factors for winning this game on either side of the ball?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, the UC Davis defense doesn't get as much attention as the offense because of what Hastings and Larison is doing. But I really think the D line for Davis has been a real strength all season long. And can they hold the running game of the Grizz? You know, the Grizz have so many great backs, you know, with Gilman and Osmo. Can they stop the run and force Montana into 3rd and long situations? That's something I'm really looking to see in this game. And of course, you got to find a way to tackle Junior Bergen.
I will get to your game pick for that game at the end, but let's go to one of our other games matchups this weekend. Sacramento State versus Montana State. The Bobcats are 9-0 for the second time in school history. Will they remain undefeated after this matchup on Saturday?
It's hard to say the Bobcats won't. I mean, they might be the best team in all of FCS right now. They seem to be the most dominant. They'll be at home. Sacramento State's having an off season. And I'm not going to pick against the Bobcats, Megan.
You mentioned Idaho having a great season. They head to Portland State. Now, Portland State has the reigning offensive player of the week in Dante Sachere. Do you think the Vandals will be able to slow down Sachere and secure this win?
I don't know if anybody can slow down Sachere. He's an incredible quarterback. UC Davis barely won on the road there. We saw firsthand what he can do. But I kind of like Portland State in an upset this week, Megan.
Our game of the week, of course, is that nationally televised top 10 matchup, UC Davis heading to Montana. Who do you like in this one?
Well, you know I'm not going against my Aggies, Megan. There's no chance of that. But it's not only that, but it's ESPN. It's under the lights. 8:15 kick in Missoula. Are you kidding me? We're all going to be freezing. You know what's off. But it's going to be just a national moment. And for Land Larison to get the stage like this is really a Walter Payton moment for him. So I really think UC Davis is peaking right now. Montana's playing well also. But I think the Aggies have a slight edge going into this game. I'm going to go UC Davis in this one.
Well, Scott, I will check back with you on Saturday and see how you do. I can't wait to see you in Missoula. I will be there. You will be there. It's going to be a great game for all of those in attendance.
Megan, I can't wait to see you as well. Thank you for having me on the show. I love this broadcast and I love the Big Sky.
This nationally televised top 10 matchup is every Big Sky fan's dream, and I cannot wait to get to Washington Grizzlies Stadium on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson. I will see you all next week. For all the latest Big Sky content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.